digital intro until I get one professionally done. Like, comment, and subscribe to join in on the fun. Hi, hello, welcome. There's a Cammy behind me who says hi, hello, welcome as well. Alaska, guys. I never really properly talked about Alaska and just how amazing it was. I did a full video on Hawaii, so I thought I would do the same for Alaska and show you guys my pictures. When I was editing, I deleted a bunch on the plane. I narrowed it down to my favorite ones, and there were still over like 350 pictures. So quite a bit of pictures to show you guys. I think I narrowed it down to maybe 250 for the video, but yeah, I mentioned in my lupus video just what an incredible quest Alaska is, and just how different. It is the end of tourist season. A lot of people were there catching salmon, so it was populated, but a lot of the times, especially when it came to nighttime, it was not. It was very dark. It was kind of spooky. I was afraid that at any point there was going to be a bear that jumped out at me. Like a grizzly bear, like a proper bear. Like here, I've learned not to necessarily be afraid of black bears. I mean, you have to stand your ground and be alert and know what you're doing, but I think I have them figured out. They're kind of skittish, like raccoons. Like you bang some pots and they run away. But grizzly bears, on the other hand, they don't mess around. They are going to attack you if you sneak up on them, if they're startled. So with this said, I got this book on Denali while we were driving to Denali, and it gives you a lot of warnings. So the park is massive. We couldn't see a lot of it because there was a landslide. So not only do you have animals and stuff, like you have to watch out for moose. There's actually like a game that you can play visiting Denali where you try to see all 5 bears. There's the grizzly bears, brown bears, black bears. I think they count Kodiak bears as a separate bear. And then polar bears are there sometimes. And I know polar bears don't mess around. Like if they see you, they're going to harm you. They just want blood. So definitely a scary, scary place that I did not realize. Everything in this book basically tells you to be afraid. You need to be very prepared. They suggest having bear spray at all times. Basically in Denali, we didn't do a lot of hiking. We just kind of like stood in the areas of like the visitor center and stuff. We stayed around there, and then like the open roads driving. Both of us were a little wary of wandering, but yeah, this book, I'm trying to find it now. I'm just like flipping through casually, but I should have found the article before I started talking. They tell you what to do for bear, and I believe this is it here. Bears live throughout the Denali Park. Grizzly bears are common in Denali. Common. They don't even say black bears are common here. Like you may see a black bear. They are common there. I think there's like 1 grizzly bear in Alaska for every 20 people or something like that. There's a lot of bears. And it says that they're common and are frequently seen by visitors along the park road. So yeah, grizzly bears. Like, giant grizzly bears. There are also black bears in the park, but they're much less common than grizzlies. I think I'd rather see a black bear. I mean, I'd love to see a grizzly bear, don't get me wrong, but I don't want to see one like on a trail. That sounds like the scariest thing that could ever happen. Unless it's a polar bear, then so it says brown lay down, black fight back, white good night. So you don't want to see a polar bear ever, but I don't think you want to see a grizzly bear either. It says, in Denali you can learn how to hike safely in bear country and how to avoid encounters with bears. This will be useful to you throughout Alaska. You must make noise, be alert, and stay visible. You shouldn't hike alone, and you should talk and even call out when you're in thick brush. So, this is not a relaxing hike. You need to basically be yelling, bear, 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 or like making some kind of noise while hiking. And I watched some videos on YouTube and documentaries and stuff since being in Alaska, which is kind of one of the things that I like doing when I get back from trips. Like, I see all this new stuff, and so then I want to know more and more and more about it. And they showed the people hiking and just being like, bloop, 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 like just constantly making noise, which is like, they don't want you to have headphones in. You need to like be alert and making noise. It just doesn't sound like a leisurely thing. Like, this is scary. So yeah, you shouldn't hike alone. You should talk and even call out when you're in the thick brush. When you're hiking, don't wear headphones or earbuds because you need to hear your surroundings. If you find yourself walking through bushes, get your bear spray and hold it while you walk. Not even just like have it in your pack. No, walk around with your bear spray. It's intense. Don't like get bears while you walk. Don't approach bears, but also don't run from them. So don't approach them, but if you see one, don't run. Stay 300 yards, 3 football fields away from bears. Jacob and I were laughing about this. I don't think I could see a bear 3 football fields away. And if you're walking through brush, like they're saying, you are not going to see this bear. And if I haven't learned anything else from Alaska, it's don't sneak up on a bear. That's why they want you yelling and doing all this stuff while you're hiking, so you don't sneak up on the grizzly bear. And the documentaries have said the same, like, don't sneak up on a bear, always be making noise. And I'm like, how is this enjoyable? Like, I like hiking. I mean, I'm not the best person to be hiking, but when I do go hiking, I enjoy it. I find it peaceful. That's one of the reasons I like it. And this does not seem peaceful at all. I don't know what you're doing in Alaska. I don't know why you are hiking through Denali. I mean, it's beautiful. It's absolutely gorgeous. But we saw a lot of beauty from the car too, and it seemed a lot safer. So, I don't know. It says, never ever crowd a bear or purposely go near a bear to take a photo. I agree with all of these things, but it's pretty scary. It says, always expect bears. There's a new article. Bears come out of nowhere in Denali National Park. If you see a bear, don't try to get closer. If a bear is headed in your direction, slowly retreat, plan a different route, keep quiet, and leave. If you encounter a dead moose or an animal kill, leave the area immediately. And that's what it was saying in the documentaries as well. They were showing that a trail in Denali was closed because there was a dead moose calf, and the scent is going to remain for like 48 hours, and other bears are going to come to the area. So if you see a dead animal, get away. When a bear sees you, don't run. Stay calm. Put on your backpack. Check your surroundings for the best exit route, and watch for signs from the bear of increased curiosity or aggression. If the bear is standing up, speak calmly. Get your bear spray and back away. If the bear is coming towards you at a rapid rate, don't run. Start spraying the pepper spray only when the bear is close. The bear may veer off at the last second. And I've seen stuff like that. I know that the movie that Leonardo DiCaprio was in, they said he would have lived if he didn't start shooting the bear, because a lot of times bears like fake you out, like they just want to prove that they're tougher and then walk away and win. But yeah, this is all so much. And so when we went to Fairbanks, we drove up through Denali. Those are the videos that we had for the day on Jacob's channel, The Carpetbagger, if you don't know. And we drove up during the day, and then at night, the next night, so we drove up from Anchorage to Fairbanks, past Denali and the state park, and did all the Denali stuff, visited. Amazing. I can see why people have worshipped this mountain in days of yore, because on the day we drove back, so drove to Fairbanks, the next day spent the day in Fairbanks and the North Pole. Jacob locked his keys in the car, had to call a guy to get the keys out, so all kinds of stuff. We ended up driving through Denali at night. It was pouring. I was driving. It was terrifying. Like, not only are you looking for big animals, not like your normal deer and like raccoons to run into the road, but like moose and grizzly bears, like I mentioned, maybe polar bears, and it was terrifying. It's only like 2 lanes. There's not really a shoulder, and it was bright from the headlights. I had to keep being like, ah. It was so scary. You really felt like you were in the middle of nowhere. Just terrifying. And all the clouds tend to like just get pulled towards Denali because it's the highest peak in the area by a lot. We only got a glimpse of Denali when we were heading up, and I guess a lot of people have said that that's impressive in itself, since it's usually cloud covered, because it's so high compared to all the other peaks. And it was nuts. I didn't have time to reflect on everything. Like, I got back, slept immediately, and was immediately on to the next thing the next morning. But my God, like, Alaska is an intimidating place. And meanwhile, Hawaii, they said that nothing there can kill you and everything is edible. Nothing is poisonous. So it's a very vast difference, but somehow they reminded me of one another. The clouds being pulled towards the center of Denali reminded me of the big volcano, and the same thing, the clouds are pulled inland towards that volcano, like over Kualoa Ranch, where I saw the Jurassic Park stuff. So there's a lot of similarities. I just feel one is cold and dark and one is bright and sunny. And in Hawaii, everyone calls you family. They say see you later versus goodbye. Alaska, people seem to kind of want to keep to themselves, which I would think you would want if you were living in such a vast, dangerous place. Like, I mean, yeah, it's a scary place, and I'm not saying this in like a I'm afraid of it way. You just need to like be on guard, and I was not as prepared as you should have been. I did not know that I should have bear spray with me. We didn't end up hiking Denali, like I said, because there were a lot of landslides in the area. Yeah, because of the warmer temperatures, but I don't know if I would have wanted to. I think I would have just wanted to drive the roads like we did, and I'm okay with that. I'm definitely not enough of a hiker to do anything like that. So let's take a look at the pictures that I took. It looks like there's 293 of them, and I'm just going to view them like home movies or a slideshow while I talk through them and you view them. And they're starting off at the airport in Seattle, and Freddie Funko greeted me immediately at the Seattle airport. It was amazing. When we landed in Alaska, at the Alaska airport, it was also amazing. The airport was in Anchorage where we landed. Just moose everywhere, moose galore. We had the sign when we got there with the postcard. There were moose statues, moose puppets, moose decorated for Christmas. Just so many moose at an airport. I told Jacob that I could just stay in the airport and be happy, just because there were so many. Like, it was my moose mecca. I was taking selfies with the mannequins. There was a weird fish in the window, different shirts with different parodies like Star Wars. There was a taxidermy moose. Just already, when I got to the airport, I was happy. I'm like, this is where I should be. There was seafood. Just incredibly happy and ready to start the adventure, which we did right away. We went out for the night. We headed towards a beach, which was all downhill. I didn't realize like how hilly it was when I started, but I made it through. We saw a car that was buried. There was a lot of cool graffiti. The sand was like no sand I ever saw. They call it like filament, I believe. It's more like dust than anything else, and I was able to get some sand down there. It's very rocky as well. And the next day we woke up bright and early and went to the Iditarod Museum, and Jacob said that the first thing he wanted to see in Anchorage was Togo. And so we went to Whittier outside of Anchorage actually, and we went on a dog sled ride, and it was incredible. I said if I ever went to Alaska that I would want to go on a dog sled ride, and the dogs were so nice, and the couple that raised them seemed absolutely adorable and sweet, and their dogs were all really, really friendly. That was the start of the day that seemed to never end. It was driving towards Whittier after Anchorage, and Whittier is a place I've always wanted to go to. It's a secluded area that was built by the military, and now there's a train tunnel that you go to get through. And yeah, it's been on my bucket list for years. It's just one of those odd places, beautiful mountains, just gorgeous. The tunnel was super intimidating, but I don't know, I like that kind of stuff. I'm not a big like roller coaster fan, but I do like nature and the tunnels and everything, so I was really happy to see that. But then after that, the next morning we were driving to Fairbanks, and that's when we saw Denali, and the little white peak that you see above the darker peaks is Denali. It's hard to tell. Jacob and I kind of just thought it was a cloud, but yeah, it was actually Denali. It just sticks up so much larger than the other mountains that it's hard to even tell what it is. It's magnificent, especially when, like I mentioned before, with the rain and everything, the clouds just all hovering over Denali, but it's also terrifying. It is just intimidating in the best way to see, kind of like how I'm intimidated by space. It's just magnificent, beautiful, powerful. Just, I can see why it was worshipped back in the day, because it's a sight to see. So these signs here are also talking about the wildlife safety in Denali. There's another taxidermy moose, and there's some crazy taxidermy of a reindeer who did not seek a very good end. It was not so great for him. He did have a little red nose. There is a wolf taking off one of his bones, and this was all at Denali as well. They are not very subtle about nature. Nature is violent and brutal and lovely and beautiful at the same time, and they kind of represent all of that, which I do think is good. But it is a huge wake-up call to where you are. It really is the last frontier. So here is the drive from Fairbanks, or from Anchorage to Fairbanks. I found my Titanic moment. There's Denali hot dogs. There's just beautiful mountains, and I took pictures of the mountains, but at the same time, like they just don't show up as well as I'd like. And then we saw a moose, and there's the moose crossing the road, maybe the best time of my life. And we also saw the Into the Wild van, or truck, bus. I'm not even saying the right mode of transportation, but definitely an inspiring story. I've been inspired by him for a while. I think a lot of adventurers and travelers are, and he didn't go about it the right way, but is an inspiration just to be out in the wild. And I saw a little taste of it, and I can't even imagine trying to just spend your life there and away from everything. You're completely self-reliant, and I personally don't think I have it in me. So it was really cool to see the bus. It was from the movie, not the original bus, but the original bus is being refurbished, so it's possible that that's the only bus that there will be to see. And then after that, till 3 a.m., we waited for the Northern Lights, and it was a very tiring day. But don't worry, the next day we woke up and went straight to the museum, the Museum of the North, that had incredible art and a preserved mammoth, which was absolutely incredible. I've been a fan of dinosaurs and animals and learning about new animals and the art in Alaska as well, and just the stories and the representation, and it's all amazing. I love the folk art in Alaska. I love the folk art here in the Appalachian Mountains. Just the creativity of everyone, and I don't know, I just like seeing things and knowing that they were made by someone and their vision. I talked about it a little bit in the Santa's Land video, because there's some interesting sculptures there as well. And yeah, like no matter where you turn, it's either a piece of history or a piece of someone's soul that they made. And there were totem poles as well, which I've always wanted to see. Oh, and even a table made out of the legs of some animal, and then Gaston's throne, so that was cool. But yeah, just so much creativity, so much heart, and that's one of the reasons I love this kind of stuff so much. Look at the faces on these little guys. They're just so cute, and there's so much personality. I love them all so much. I took so many pictures of these little carvings and creations. And here's a cyclops that was believed to, the elephant skull was believed to be a cyclops. Here's another little fun guy. Just so much creativity. I loved all this stuff. I ended up buying a piece that was similar when we went to Pioneer Park, which is where I believe we went right after this art gallery. Like I said, this trip was non-stop. Oh, we went to go see Safety Bear. That's right, at the Alaska Highway Museum, the Alaska Trooper Museum, one of those things. This was actually later in the trip, but it's kind of gotten like mixed up out of order. But Jacob and I were in love with Safety Bear and saw that his costume was at this museum. And I also love the police badge with the big grizzly above, so we wanted to go check this out. And they even had a crime scene, so it was definitely an interesting place. But this is back in Fairbanks. I rode a bear you know, as you do. I saw an incredible arch made of moose antlers and a ladybug, so definitely a lot of weirdness. Moose crash sign, 19 moose killed since July 1st in that county, which seems insane. Yeah, now just a bunch of like roadside stuff. Just one of my favorite things ever, roadside attractions, which is why I got into Jacob's videos to begin with. And I bought a little totem pole at Wall Mike's here. I also fell in love with that license plate. I felt like it was just like the sun behind the grizzly bear, like, oh, I don't know. I just thought it was really, really funny. Oh, and I had my Spam musubi in Alaska, which I discovered in Hawaii. So I do think there are some connections. There were similarities, and I don't know, Jacob didn't necessarily agree with me or thought I was strange, but I definitely saw some similarities between the two states. Here we go. Here is Pioneer Park and Alaska Land, the super cool sign. I'm a huge fan of signs and artistry, and like I said, I majored in graphic design, so it's like in my soul. The Alaska flag is also one of my favorite flags, with Maryland being the top flag of all time. But this carver who made this caribou is the one that I bought my sculpture from. And this is his name here. Just like a bunch of fun carvings reminding me of Appalachia. There's a lot of carvings here as well. All this folk art just makes me happy. Oh, and we saw the Alaska pipeline, which neither Jacob or I realized had portions that ran above ground. It just seems like too much could happen that would ruin it. But yeah, we did get to see that, and that was pretty cool. I'm looking at these pictures and I can tell I'm still healthy in this portion of the trip. As the pictures go on, I feel worse and worse. This is where we saw beluga whales, which was really cool. We saw the most of them when we were on the bus heading towards the glacier, and so, or back from the glacier, one of those. But yeah, it was definitely pretty fun. This is when we went to I don't know how to pronounce it. It's Aleyska. It's a former spelling of Alaska, and we rode up a chairlift, and there were incredible views. And I saw a moose. That was when I spotted the moose for the first time on the ground, coming down the chairlift. I was so excited. And yeah, like I said, just amazing views. It's hard to take pictures of mountains. I've learned from living here. Just nature photography is very difficult. I feel like I'd like to take some classes to learn how to properly photograph nature, because I know it has to do with different parts of the day, with sunshine and stuff. But oh, here we have the ice museum, which was so fun. The man that works there is so sweet and does the ice carvings. There it is with the moose. And then our North Pole adventure. And again, I love Christmas. I love all this stuff. So it was a good time. The locking the keys in the car was not such a good time, but being in North Pole, Alaska was another bucket list item, so I'm glad we got to make a stop there after Fairbanks. And I did buy my moose poop ornament. If you saw that in Jacob's video, a lot of people were laughing at my moose poop, and it's not the first time that I had heard that that existed. Oh, here's our bus right here. But yep, off to the glaciers, and this is, I'm happy here. I'm healthy here. At the end of the glacier is when I am not feeling too hot. I don't know if it was the cold or what it was, just exhaustion from the previous days, but I definitely, this is when I started feeling not so great. A lot of the boat ride I spent on the bottom because it was just too cold for me on the top, and I didn't bundle like I should have, because it said when we were going to be there that it was going to be in the 60s and 70s, so I didn't really bundle appropriately. But the glacier was absolutely incredible. They took us like right up to it. You could hear the ice cracking, and they said if we heard a loud sound that sounded like an explosion, like a pop, then to look over there, because part of the glacier would likely be breaking off into the ocean. And I found that kind of intimidating, and I'm like, please, please, don't break off. Well, yeah, here's when I'm starting to feel not so great. I'm just sitting in the boat watching the glacier and the beauty around me. It was pretty magical, I have to say. Just, there's not a lot of words for a trip like that, especially when you're seeing stuff that you've never seen before, like you've never even pictured. Alaska is much mightier than you see in just a documentary or pictures. And then, of course, there's my favorite, the wildlife park, and seeing, it's a park that rehabilitates animals that are living in Alaska. And yeah, I can tell I'm not feeling well there just from the picture, but they have moose, they have caribou, they have black bear, brown bear, grizzly bear, just whatever you can think of that you would see in Alaska, it is there. All your big guys. And then some cute little guys too, surprisingly. I learned that the pika and the marten live in Alaska, and they are both super duper cute. But the highlight of the park was definitely me feeding the moose. Like I said, I definitely felt terrible this day, but it still made me like so incredibly happy. Like, you guys know that I've wanted to see a moose more than like anything, and I was just like super super happy. I feel bad that I wasn't having an day, because I think Jacob would have preferred that, but I'm just happy that I was able to go. And I told him that I was happy inside, even though it may not seem like it, because I was quiet, and just with lupus it's hard to talk when you're feeling that way. Oh, and there's our selfie with a bear. I didn't think that would ever happen. I did get some of these animal pictures framed. I ordered them. They are being printed as we speak and being shipped. Oh yeah, and they had the fun yak and porcupine, just super cute stuff, super amazing trip. And you can tell in these last few pictures on the plane that Anchorage definitely had its toll on me. I always like looking at the pictures that I take before and after on the plane, and this kind of just like came about because I realized that I'm so much tired after the trip is over. So I've started liking looking at the pictures before the trip when I'm like, and then on the ride home where I'm like, like just trying to be like, I'm hanging in there, yeah. And when I'm happy on the inside, but on the outside I'm like, just so tiring. But absolutely worth it. Amazing, an amazing trip. I mean, travel I think takes a toll on anyone. Just trying to see everything and absorb it all and be wary, especially in places like Alaska. Travel can be hard on anyone. I mean, I like when I get back to and having the time to relax and just blah and watch TV and a slower pace. But Jacob, that's him day to day. I guess it's in his blood. That's what he wants. That's the go, 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 go. I myself, with the lupus and everything, need a break in between. So thank you for watching. Thank you for your concerns about my health in Alaska. I know you guys were like, is she okay? And like I said in my lupus video, that I don't normally show my red days just because I'm feeling so blah, but there was a lot I wanted to see in Alaska, so I stuck through and showed those days and did the stuff on those days, and I am paying the cost now because I am slowly trying to get my energy back. So if things are looking up, I am recording, I am around, I am awake. So I have almost completely been on the, or am now on the mend from my toll that is Alaska. Oh, hi Cammie. She just moved. I didn't realize she was still back there. But yeah, I'm feeling better. I think there's still like a couple more days and then it'll be close to 100%. But yeah, meanwhile, I went to Santa's Land. I showed you that. I gave my lupus update and I celebrated my birthday. I am now 42, so it was nice having Jacob home for the day to celebrate. So yeah, I guess that's it for now. I hope you enjoyed my photos. There were a tremendous amount of them. And yeah, we're gonna see what my next adventures are gonna be. I'm kind of excited. I'm trying to think of planning a trip maybe. A brief trip, not like a Jacob road trip, like a few day road trip. But it just depends on how I'm feeling with my lupus and everything. But thank you for watching. Thank you for watching the Alaska adventures. And I guess that's it. Cammie, you want to say bye? Cammie? Yeah. Oh, she said bye. Bye. Say bye.